So everyone has quiz 4 again. So the first thing I'd like to do is go over quiz 4, and then we're going to practice more on chapter 4, and that's the agenda for today. Okay, so you might want to grab out or open up your copy of quiz 4. Number 1. If I eat my Wheaties cereal, then I will become a sports legend. I did not become a sports legend, therefore I did not eat my Wheaties. Okay, that's deductive by virtue of its form, and all arguments that are deductive by virtue of their form are necessarily valid. Okay? So some people wanted to put that it was inductive by cause and effect reasoning. If you're thinking cause and effect reasoning, make sure that you're thinking that this is some kind of law of the universe, as it were, is a better way to think about it. Does everybody understand that? Two, the ideal gas law states P equals nRT, an inflated balloon was placed in the freezer. Therefore, the balloon will grow larger, okay? This is a deductive argument type 3 that's from a scientific law. And also remember, people, you have the little slot there that says inductive type or deductive type. Some people just checked or put an X afterwards. I want the number, I want you to identify the kind of inductive argument or the kind of deductive argument. So please don't forget to do that, because that would be a whole lot of missing points. Does everybody understand that? So I need to know the number associated with inductive argument type or deductive argument type. So on number 2, it's deductive argument type 3, and I was not trying to trick you. If you read closely, it says the balloon will grow larger. Well, that's not what would happen. It's the opposite that would happen. So in this case, it's invalid, right? And I think I actually even mentioned this argument in passing in class, just for you to be aware of the fact that if someone said blah, that would not be what the conclusion should be. Okay. 3, John had grits as his side, or John had toast as his side. John did not have grits as his side. Therefore, John had toast as his side. This is another deductive argument by virtue of its form. That's disjunctive syllogism, and therefore necessarily valid. Okay. Now you'll notice that I had a bunch of deductive by virtue of its form, because I want you to get in the habit of thinking about that possibility, because chapter 4, one of the main new elements is that we have the option of an argument that's deductive by virtue of its form. So make sure that some of your answers on the test include deductive by virtue of its form. I always get someone who never selects that option, and I guarantee you there's at least one in there, if not more. Does everybody understand that? Okay? Okay. 4, I have owned, that should be owned 2 Yorkies. Both had bad teeth. All Yorkies must have bad teeth. This is an inductive argument, right? Type 2, what's our type 2? It's a generalization. We took a sample and we made a claim about the entire population, and, well, weak. Why? Because the sample size is too small, right? Now, someone pointed out in the last section that Yorkies are notorious for having bad teeth. So she knew for a fact that they had bad teeth. So she wanted to say it was strong. But the point is, the way you should think about it is this. Suppose you don't know anything about Yorkies. Is the evidence on offer a good reason for thinking Yorkies have bad teeth? Well, no, it's too small of a sample. Does everybody understand that, right? So what you're supposed to do is just assume those premises are true that are given to you and ask, does that support the conclusion, right? And to what degree in the case of an inductive argument, okay? 5, Joe is a pedophile, therefore Joe has an inappropriate sexual attraction to children, okay? That's deductive type 1 based on definitions of what it is to be a pedophile, okay? I don't think there was much of a problem there. Although one of my students from last section wasn't exactly sure what pedophile meant, so she gave it a Google, and then her mom walked by, and so they had to have a long discussion. Okay. All right. Any questions about the quiz? By and large, people did good. Don't forget to enter the numbers, okay? The actual test, which I will post on Thursday, I want to go over it again and make sure there aren't any questions that are too vague or could be taken too many different ways. Same format as the quiz, it's just that you have 25, okay? And I would tell you to not select the first answer that pops into your head, to think about all of the options before you select, because you want to select the best answer. Does everybody understand that? And there is partial credit, right? Because you have to decide whether it's inductive or deductive, you have to tell me the type, and then you have to tell me whether it's valid or invalid. So if you get deductive argument, you get the right type, but you get the valid or invalid wrong, well, you get partial credit. Does everybody understand that? So it's not all or nothing, because sometimes we can have a sense that, oh, we know it's a deductive argument, we just can't figure out which kind. Does everybody understand that, or vice versa? Okay. So now, if it's deductive and you say inductive or vice versa, well, then you're going to miss all of it. So at least I get the first part right, inductive or deductive. So make sure you think carefully about that. Any questions about 4? So I will post 4 on Thursday. It's due Sunday night by 11:59 p.m. The usual. Okay. Okay. All right. So I had asked you guys to make up some sample questions pertaining to chapter 4, because we have already gone over all of the questions in the chapter homework. Did anyone make up some questions? Anyone? You have some? Okay, good. So what's your name?
Layla.
Say that again?
Layla.
Aber?
Yeah.
Or sorry, which kind is that?
Hmm?
Aber?
Aber.
Okay. Okay. And look, on Thursday, we're going to do more of the same. Layla has some, and I have some from the other section that we can go over as practice, okay? But everyone who comes up with 5, you turn those in, and anywhere you have a deduction because of non-attendance, right, non-participation, I give that back to you. Does everybody understand that? So this is a way to scratch back some points. Does everybody understand that? So does anyone else have any here today? Just Layla. Okay. Yes?
Mohammed.
Okay, you have some too? Okay. Mohammed Khan?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, and you can do this twice, right? So I'm going to ask everyone that wants, which you all should want, to write up 5 for next time as well, so that will give us more practice. And if we get through all of the ones that we have to work with, then we'll start into understanding chapter 5. Okay. Layla, Go ahead.
You
Read.
want me to read it?
Yes.
Did I need to write the answers or no?
You just read it, don't say the answer, and then we will try to reason it out, what we think the answer is, and then you tell us what you think the answer is, and then we decide who's right.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, based on Newton's first law of motion, a ball will not move unless I kick it.
Okay, what do you guys think?
Inductive.
Inductive?
I said
Okay, and what else?
strong.
And Layla, what did you think?
Deductive from a scientific law and strong.
Well, if it's deductive, it's valid or invalid.
Oh, valid.
Right, okay. So now, here's the odd thing. And this will show how difficult it is to write good questions, okay? When I think of deductive from a scientific law, and that's what you're saying it is, right? I state the law, and then, you know, what happens, and then I make a prediction on it, right? And so you state the law, and then what's your conclusion? Read your conclusion to us.
Like a ball will not move unless you kick it.
Is that your conclusion?
Mhm.
Okay. Ball will not move unless you kick it. Okay. Well, strictly speaking, could the ball move for other reasons?
Yes.
Okay. So thinking about it that way, I would say it's deductive from a scientific law, invalid. But Layla, you were thinking what? Inductive scientific or deductive scientific law and what? Valid? Right, okay. And that would have worked if you had said, nothing is acting on the, suppose nothing is acting on the ball